In this video, I'm going to show you how basically everything works. First off, what you need is a hacked PSP. To find that out, search Google. Very easy, just tedious, takes a long time. If you've never done it before, read all of the instructions before you do anything, because it's going to take a little bit of trial and error before you get it done right the first time. Second thing, once you have your PSP, install this program called PsP PsP and this little icon that it comes up with. I'll include the link in the thread or whatever. Okay, once you have that installed, which is really easy to install if you've installed the custom firmware, so I don't need to go through any of that, it's going to place a little icon in the memory stick area of your game. So if I go there, it's going to come up with PsP PsP as the first one. So I select that. Comes up with this screen. It says press X or the cross to use the USB, or the O circle to use the wireless LAN. Before, in the other video, I had the USB hooked up, but I don't anymore because I got good wireless connection now. And so I'm going to test out the wireless LAN feature. So I'm going to press circle, and it's going to connect. It tells you the IP that you need to connect to in case you're having any trouble remembering or figuring out the IP of your computer. If you don't know how to find the IP of your computer, the local IP, go to Start. Okay, go to Start, type in CMD to get the command prompt. Then you type in IP config. Press enter, and it'll come up with this. And what you need is your IPv4 address. Mine is 192.168.1.101, and that's what it showed up with on the PSP screen. Okay, so once you have that all figured out, now comes the tricky part: configuring the controls. If you go to here, to your desktop icon for the PSP display, you'll find the control drop-down menu. Go there and you'll have two options already that are defaulted with the program. You want to go to customize. I'll include a keyboard layout for you guys just to start out with, but this is the way that you'll customize it. Bring up this window and you want to open the folder to modify or edit the files. They're not going to be defaulted to Notepad, so you're going to have to open it with and then choose Notepad as the file type. Okay, here it's kind of confusing, but it's easy. It just takes a while. Okay, this is the wrong file. Go to mouse, because that's the one I have changed. Okay, what you see here is the way that they code the keyboard. The event has two options. It can be keyboard, or it can be mouse. Now, if you have a mouse as your event, you don't want a scan code, because the mouse doesn't have a scan code. You want the typematic to be set to 1. That's only for if you have mouse. And the button is what mouse button. You can have left, right, and I think there was like a scroll or something, just to look through the other control files to get an example of what you want to have if you want to use a certain button. If you want to do a keyboard, this is the tricky part. The event has to be keyboard, typematic has to be set to 0, and there's no button, because there's only one button when you're selecting the keyboard. This right here, the scan code, this determines which key on the keyboard is the one that's going to be pressed. So how do you find the scan code of a key? You're going to have to go to Yahoo or Google, if that's your choice. Type in keyboard scan scan codes. Okay, then I'll come up with this website by Alltech Instruments. Go here and scroll down until you see this layout. Okay, to figure out the numerical number for the key, it's right next to it. So let's try the W. So you see W has 18 as its number. Okay, remember that number, 18. So you scroll down a little bit more and you'll find this table. This is the key number. So 18 is for W. So we find 18. And then the number right next to it is the scan code. So if I want to have W as the key selected, I'm going to have to write down 11 as the scan code. So let's go back to the document. Let's find out where I used 11. I used it for analog up. So whenever I press up on the analog or the joystick, the keyboard is going to be the event, and the scan code is 11, which means that it's really the numerical number of 18, which means that 18 is the W, and so W is going to get pressed. I hope you understand that. It's not too difficult, just once again, it's tedious. Okay, once you go through all of this and get it all set up, then you have your keyboard all ready to go, etc., etc. Okay, and close all of that out. To give you an example of how my keyboard layout is right now, I'll open Notepad, and I'll turn up the fonts a little bit. Okay, now let's take a look at my PSP. Right now, the D-pad is the numbers 1 through 4. So if I press down, it'll show 1. Keep pressing down, it'll show 1. If I press left, it's 2, 3, 4. So basically these are your spells. For the joystick, I have the left and right of the joystick is the mouse movement left and right. So if I move left and right, the cursor is going to move left and right. However, up and down is not mouse up and down. Up and down is movement in the game up and down. So it's going to be W and S. So if I push up, you'll see it shows W. If I push down, it'll show you S. Okay? Now, the other controls are triangle. Triangle is E, that's for look up. Square is Q for look down. X is click. I have deselected the notepad because I just clicked off on the desktop. So that's for casting. O is shift. That's for running and stuff. So if I hold down O and I press, let's say, down on the D-pad, it'll show the exclamation point or the other shifts of the number keys. The bumpers are strafing, which I have to set to A and D. So there's the WSAD movement, W up, S down, A, and D. So that's pretty much it. Select, I have set as the right mouse click. So if I press select, it should right mouse click, like it did. It just did. However, there's a program default where if you press select, it's going to come up with this little box thing, so you can enter in words or different things because you don't have a keyboard and stuff, but you can just press select to get rid of that again. That's basically all the controls in a nutshell. I'll show you how it works after this.